I'm quitting comedy. I'm gonna go back to Enterprise Rent-A-Car. I've been coming to the urban grind for a depressing amount of time. I've been doing comedy like 9.5 years. So it starts with urban grind, which I've been coming to for probably like 8 or so years. And it's a coffee shop that can be hit or miss, but I like starting my nights here because it's kind of like a free-for-all. I mean, it's kind of like you just throw stuff against the wall. I'm so comfortable in there now that if something misses, it doesn't matter. But like, as opposed to other shows where the stakes may be a little higher and you're like, well, I don't want to bomb in front of like an audience. But here, if you bomb, I don't really consider anyone could bomb at Urban Grind. I think it's more of just, you just rep it out. You just have to say it out loud. So I balance it out with, time with my wife. So if I'm booked on the weekends, I usually stay in more during the week. But if I'm not booked on the weekends, I'll go out more during the week. But now that I'm preparing for the special, I'm just gonna be out until I tape the special, pretty much. So I can put on a good show that people wanna pay for, that then will buy us a house that doesn't have her name on it. So
you can find him doing comedy all over town. Also, if you're interested in a podcast, he's the host of the Hot Breath podcast. Please put your hands together for Joel Byars.
Hey! All the material is true. All the material is based off real life. But this is like my first attempt at like telling a first-hand story. Like, this is what happened, like beginning to end. You know what I mean? So I'm trying a new style of writing 2 weeks before my comedy special. I mean, the premise is that my wedding was a comedy show. So my wedding was a comedy show. It was on April Fool's Day, which I think when I asked my wife about it, she thought it was a joke. And then she was like, oh yeah, and then why don't we have a comedian be the officiant? He can host it. I was like, actually, I know a guy who's ordained by Google. I do, his name's Griff. Comedian Griff. He's on, she let him be the officiant because I'd done a church show with him. His name is Griff. He's a morning DJ on Get Up with Erica Campbell. But I don't know Griff. I know Griffey 2K. That's who I know, Griffey 2K. Griffey 2K used to host a show back in the day where people threw Nerf balls at the comedians. There was no booing, it was just pelting, bombing comedians with Nerf balls. So I thought he would be the perfect master of ceremonies for my wedding. I was like, well, if her parents are paying for it, might as well just tag them on. So here's what happened. If you're thinking about getting married first, just know the planning. If you can survive that, like you'd have more fun planning like a road trip to Mars than planning a wedding. It's a lot of schematics and like who's the DJ and who's the caterer and what's the theme and where's it gonna be. It's like a lot of things for her parents to pay for. And she's asking me, and I'm like, I didn't book this comedy show. Talk to your parents. They're the bookers and the producer. I'll wear the dress if I need to, but I can't afford this wedding because I got Sally Mae. I'm still paying it off that gold digger there, which I'm not paying back. Whatever. Student debt's over $1 trillion. She can't catch us all.
Oh God.
So, but that's the thing with comedy. They're like, oh, you get exposure. They'll pay you an exposure. And I was like, I think Sally Mae has enough exposure. I think she needs murder. I think that's what she needs. So, long story short, we get to the comedy show, the wedding. And we read our own vows. So I pull out my vows, you know, my set list, if you will. And I have a strong opening joke. You know, I say, I met you sophomore year of college. You met me senior year of college. Okay. It killed in the room. They were a good crowd, unlike you, I guess. And it was a good crowd, about 80. You know, it was a daytime show, but it was good. Good gig. Not a bad gig. For I got paid in food, you know, not bad. But yeah, I mean, I got paid. I also got a ring, which, if you don't know, men only get one ring. Women get 2 rings. Just so you know that if you buy an engagement ring, be sure to leave some in the chamber for when you need that wedding ring, because they don't tell you that. Beyonce has a song that says if you love her, put a ring on it. She doesn't say anything about the second ring. It's like, if you like it, then you gotta put a ring on it, and then save some money because you gotta get another ring. I was like, oh no, 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 no. So that's why men get paid more than women. It's the ring tax. Sorry, it's the ring tax, just how it goes. So I read my vows, killer opening joke, and then I just start crying. I cry at my wedding because like it hit me in that moment that like all the wedding planning was over, and it just washed emotion over me. No more spreadsheets, no more questions. But then it was like adorable at first, like it was a cute amount of crying, and then it was like a suspicious amount of crying. I just kept crying, and it was like, oh. I think he's about to confess something. But Griff chimes in, and this guy has a raspy voice, like his whisper is a yell. And he's just like, come on, homie, get it together. And then my wife starts crying because she realizes this is a real wedding and that we're getting behind schedule. This was not in the spreadsheet. I'm starting to run the light. I'm crying so much. She's like, we gotta get to the headliner, the cake. We can't have you crying, taking up all the time. Get through your set. So I continue crying, and then Griff just boos me. At my wedding. Well, not Griff. Griffey 2K boos me. Griff goes, come on, homie, but Griffey 2K goes, boo. Come on, homie, boo. So it is 80 white people, a black officiant booing the groom, and everybody thought it was hilarious. But I feel like a lot of you don't know me, and I'm so white that anytime I say the word black, it just makes people uncomfortable immediately. Where people are like, you better say lives matter after that. Old too white to fail in the face. So, it's a good. So that's what we're working on. My wife is like, go get famous. I'm like, well, I'm gonna tell our wedding story about me crying on April Fool's Day. And you guys got to hear it for the first time. So, la-di-da-da. Have a good night, everyone. I only had a feature set. I had to keep a tight 5 so we could get to the headliner, which is the cake. And I don't have an ending. Oh gosh. All right. Is that funny? Hey! We out here. That's good I couldn't get the mic out of the stand. Oh. Hey! Hey! We out here. I'm sorry, I don't know how to do comedy. I can't pull a mic out of the stand. That's hilarious. My entire set. Just, how do you do this? Or when I first started comedy, I thought I would be like weird and cool. And I had this opening joke. It was gonna be the joke. It was gonna be the joke. This is what's gonna take me to the next level. I took the mic out of the stand and then just started walking around the stage. Like, I don't know what to do with this. Where is it supposed to stand? But I milked it for like 2 minutes of just, where does it go? And then the punchline never booked me again. So that's how you get booked. You just bomb a lot. But I can't bomb. I can't. You know what made me encouraged about documenting this joke? Is when we were leaving, did you hear that comic outside? Say, you'll get it ready.
You'll be ready, big dog. You'll be ready.
Gotta rep it out. People, I don't know all people, but like, I guess people appreciate the process and want to see someone try something and succeed. Yeah, I mean, it's just like comedy nerds and comedians. Yeah. Because that's what the podcast is. Hot breath. I've had several people reach out to me online and say, you know, oh, I started comedy because of your show. Or like, I listened to this episode and it made me want to try it. Like, so many people reached out who hadn't done comedy, but then wanted to try it after. So next we're going to Meehan's in Atlantic Station. It's right around the corner from the Urban Grind. And this is a somewhat newer show. I've done it a few times. I've had fun every time. It can be hit or miss. Sometimes there's people, sometimes there's not. But there is a microphone. There's not a stage, but there is a microphone. And speakers that work. So that's all we really need. So this is part of the comedy grind. Go from show to show. Riding and driving. I'll be interested to see how this does this time.
I think you need to cry.
Just go?
Just cry.
I should try. So when it's like I pull out my vows, I get that opening laugh, and then I start crying. Maybe when I say crying, I start to like kind of crack my voice.
Yeah.
And kind of.
Right, kind of bring them in, bring them there.
Right. Start crying. Well, I mean, but real.
Right.
Crying. Crying. That's interesting. To build up the misdirect that it was because the wedding planning's over.
Right.
And I feel like the more I build up how absurd wedding planning is, like the more that'll hit.
And build it up more that you like were oddly into it. And that's kind of why your wife was like, oh, this isn't a joke. We're at a wedding. We're having, because I think that's the other part.
Oh, you think that part's funny too?
Yeah.
Where she starts crying because she's like, oh no, this is my wedding.
Yeah. He's crying because... And that's the whole joke, is that she knows that you're a professional and you're crying because the show's off track. And she's crying because everything is now come to realization that you're now bound with...
Baby.
Yeah.
Bound with baby. Yeah. Well, here we go. Hey Joelivers, I am so excited to release this comedy special. After 10 years in the game, I got frustrated with waiting on someone else's approval and decided to produce my own comedy special to inspire other comics to do the same. If you want to join me on this journey, click the link right here, pick up the comedy special, and let's do this.